Find the second and fourth coefficient in the expansion of 5 plus 2x to the power 12. Now we would normally use Pascal's triangle, okay, and that's absolutely fine. You could use it here, okay, except of course that, you know, we've got power 12, so we'd have to go down to 12 rows, and you know, that's absolutely fine. You can do that, but suppose they gave you something even larger and they gave you like power 20, then, you know, you've got problems, haven't you, in terms of writing out Pascal's triangle. So what we can do, we can use our calculator and the formula in the formula booklet, okay? So literally on the first page of the formula booklet, you can see here it says binomial series, and this formula here will actually help us to determine what the second and the fourth coefficient is, okay? So we'll use this function here, which is called the choose function, but it's quite easy because we will just use our calculator, okay? And I'll show you how to do that now. So in this case, of course, n is going to be 12, okay? All right, and because the power obviously relates to n here. So if we wanted the second term, we would then use this here, because that would be the first term. The second term would be this here, okay? So what we need to do here is 12, choose 1, okay? So I'll explain how to work this out in a minute. And then it'll be a, which is, of course, then the first term here, which is 5. And it's n minus 1, so we'd have to take 1 away from 12, and then you're going to times it by b, okay? B, of course, then is the 2x then. So, on our calculator, we would just have to work out, okay, what 12 choose 1 is. So I'll show you how to do that, okay? And there's another video I'm going to put on Classroom for you to see that later. So if you just press 12, we want the catalogue, okay? So you press Shift Catalogue. Okay, there you go. Or we just press you don't have to press shift, you just press it, catalogue, and then we go down to probability, and we go to combinations, okay, and then you can see then this choice, but the choose button is there, and then of course it's 1 there, right? So we press 1 and we press equals, and it actually comes out to be 12. So that would be what the value is in Pascal's triangle, okay? So that's the point there. That would be the value if you've gone down to 12 rows. So the calculator works it out for us for powers that are quite large, of course. So then this would be 5 to the power 11 and then times 2x. So then if I just work that out to my calculator, so 12 times 5 to the power 11 times 2, and I get something really, really large. So I get 1,171,875,000x. So the coefficient, of course, then would be this value in front, okay? So the second coefficient would equal to this value here, 1,171,875,000. Okay, so if I wanted the fourth coefficient, okay, what I need to do is obviously follow the pattern that we've got here. So that's the first term, that's the second term, that's the third term. So the fourth term, they haven't actually given us. It just shows that it continues like this. So, but if that is the first, that's the second, that's the third. The fourth one then will be n, of course. But this time then it'll be, instead of over 2, the next one will be over 3. Okay, so over 3. And then, if you remember the pattern that we do with binomial, that's a n to the minus 2. So the next one will be a n to the minus 3. So that will be times 5, because that's the a there, okay, times to the power n, which is 12 minus 3, and then of course then that's b squared, so the next one will be b cubed, so we're going to do b, so 2x cubed. So then just like we did before, then we go on our calculator, so we press 12, okay, so for 12 choose 3, we press 12, press the catalogue, go down to probability and then combinations and then 3, press equals, and you get 220, okay? So that's what it would have been in the Pascal's triangle, that particular one that we wanted, it would be 220, but the calculator does it all for us, times 5 to the power 9. Now remember, when we're cubing here, that will be 8, 2 cubed is 8, and then x cubed, so then times it, 220 times 5 to the power 9 times 8, and I get, yes, a really large number. So essentially then the fourth coefficient, okay, will be that value there. So 3,437,500,000 there, okay.